Hey guys, and welcome to the Tale of Lead Belchers. I'm a Rubber Duck of War, and today we have an awesome land battle showdown between the mighty forces of Papa Palpatine and OG of the channel, bringing his favourite Ogre kingdoms up against the might of the Khorne legions. And we're here on the Gore Gate, which looks absolutely fantastic. I love the swirling fire in the skies. Likewise, the skull bristling with flames and lava. Should be a good fun game, and honestly, having looked at the builds, I really do feel like this is going to be a tale of either the greatest or worst lead belchers of all time. They have a lot of heavy carrying to do if the ogres are going to be victorious. What I really like about this ogre build is they haven't over-invested in multiple lead belchers and a bucket ton of range that they simply cannot protect. They've gone for just the one unit here in the back. We do also have some Noblar trappers, but they're more kind of cheap range. It's not such a big problem if they die, but only one unit of lead belchers means he has to keep them protected. But it's a lot easier to protect them than having multiple units, ensuring they can definitely get some decent value. We do have a load of Iron Guts as well, mixing with Ogre Balls and Noblars, making up the rest of the battle formation. And then we have some Saber-Tusk packs in the back, looking to shut down enemy Flesh Hounds and Furies and protect those lead belchers at all times. In the center, we do have a glorious Butcher of the Great Maw, coming with the Bone Crusher and Troll Guts. And then we have Greasy Boy himself, Mr. Goldtooth, rolling dirty and just having a whale of a time. Quite happy to be picked once in a while. And I think in land battles, you're going to see him a little bit more often than you would in domination. And in this matchup, I can certainly see him go toe-to-toe with a decent amount of the enemy lords and units. For the forces of Khorne on the other side of the battlefield, with some Flesh Hounds lurking in the trees. And the main battle line is a mixture of Bloodletters and Chaos Warriors of Khorne halberds. Looks like Bloodletters are taking the flanks. Fast and swift, they're going to be looking to try to get into Iron Guts and really pierce through their armor. Whereas the halberds, of course, are good against pretty much everything. With one lone unit of Chaos Warriors in the back, they can still do decent damage despite the fact they're not anti-large or anything. And one of the reasons I love this matchup is the fact we get to see so many Minotaurs of Khorne. Certainly one of the most badass and fearsome looking units in the game. Looks like they are saturating on top of their infantry halberds at the moment. I believe there's 2 units of the badass Minotaurs. Likewise, we also have a Cultist of Khorne naturally coming in with the summon, as well as a Herald of Khorne with his juicy buffs. I think there's another unit in the distance. It looks like it's just another unit of Flesh Hounds. Those Flesh Hounds need to get busy. They have to shut down the lead belchers. Otherwise, the lead belchers will rip and tear into those Minotaurs, devastating them in a matter of seconds. So Khorne going to get nice and aggressive here. Just look at them. I know I've gushed over them already, but look how badass the Minotaurs look, marching to war and glory. And they're certainly going to be screaming 1 or 2 war chants on the kind of war path towards the enemy. The forces here of the Ogre Kingdoms have been a little bit more static, nice defensive formation, looking to saturate on top of the Noblars with Iron Guts is a lovely combination. And so the lead belchers are going to be lining up in the first few volleys, popping shots down range. It's a bit of a hill here, but oh my god, one of the Minotaurs got sent flying. Big damage done already. Looks like the Halberdiers also took a significant portion of that volley, and now they're starting to crescent over top of the hill. That damage is only going to multiply as the lead belchers get better and better shots lined up. So there are Iron Guts in the way, which isn't going to be super useful, but look at this. The Minotaur's taking a bit of a beating on the warpath. I heard the Noblars screaming as they charge in to the Bloodletters, trying to get themselves psyched up. And the Iron Guts really going to do some nice damage here. Minotaurs get a little over-eager and charge headlong into the enemy, bounding up and down. And that's going to be a tough fight for them. They do good against the Iron Guts, but Noblars will be distracting them. Likewise, we have a load of real nasty little Noblar trappers launching crap and just shards of glass, wherever they can find, bits of poop, no doubt, into the faces of the Minotaurs. And doing a decent damage there as well, coming in with the cast from the Great Maw-caster. Iron Guts are starting to be beaten back, though, by Minotaurs and Halberdier combinations. Chaos Warriors are pushing up all around the field, and Flesh Hounds do dive on the Saber-Tusk packs in a nice surround on them, dragging them down and finishing them off. The other Flesh Hounds, unfortunately, have been pinned in place by Noblar trappers, and now Saber-Tusks can overwhelm them. That's going to allow these lead belchers to continue to pound down the front line. They're doing a fantastic job at the moment, just unleashing hell upon the enemy. Iron Guts in the middle, trying to cling on, but the Minotaurs are really cleaving them asunder over here in the middle, alongside those halberds, and even Grease's Goldtooth can't stand up to such ferocity. He's trying his hardest, trying his best. Lead belchers are now focused down the second unit of Minotaurs, who've done a fantastic job so far, clearing the path through Ogre Balls. They need to keep moving through, though, and somebody has to shut down the lead belchers. Flesh Hounds look like they're about to do it, but the Ogre Balls have been used rather effectively as a backline defensive unit here, blocking off the Flesh Hounds and keeping those lead belchers firing once more. Ogre Bulls are retreating. Bloodblades have cut a bloody path through the enemy on this right-hand flank. Halberdiers doing a good job there as well. Minotaurs have been slowed, it seems. There's a fantastic use of the trappers there as they attempt to push backwards onto the lead belchers. The cast actually hops in the way, and the Minotaurs get obliterated on the approach, barely making it into combat. But now they are there. They're certainly going to rip and tear into the lead belchers. The Lord has also pushed in aggressively alongside the cultists. I don't think I've seen the summon yet. The summon would have been really nicely used on the lead belchers to ensure their demise here. Fletchhounds are struggling to drag down the Saber-Tusk packs. Greased Goldtooth has retreated, but he's been allowed to recuperate here and lick his wounds and hopefully come back into the action. Minotaurs still driving hard into the lead belchers, who are falling back behind the Saber-Tusks and behind the Noblar trappers. And it looks like Ogre Bulls and Iron Guts have disengaged from the front line and now surround and beat back these Minotaurs. Lovely, lovely play here to rescue the lead belchers from the Ogre Kingdom player, and now the enemy Lord is trapped, isolated, and alone. He's certainly winning the front line. They've butchered their way through many an Ogre and Noblar, but as long as those lead belchers are firing, there's a lot of hope for the Ogre Kingdoms. Bounce power, though, is in favour of Khorne at the moment. Second unit Minotaurs, still 10 models, are coming into the action. Cultists of Khorne alongside the Halberds will be able to slowly hack and pierce into the Butcher, but shots are exploding around the Halberds, who get moving in some pretty bad PTSD there, it would seem, from all the times they've been exploded upon before. Khorne Warriors are just engaging with Trappers, which is a decent fight for them. Unfortunately, they do have Iron Guts saturated on top of this. It looks like the Herald of Khorne does have everyone that has their price on him. I wonder how you would bribe a Herald of Khorne. I don't think it'd be particularly easy, but it does seem like he is surrounded, isolated, and alone. Greased Goldtooth giving orders and laughing as he gets circle beat there. Minotaurs are rushing to his aid, and just over the hill we have just a bucket tons of Chaos Warrior Halberds slowly moving in on the enemy formation, which is certainly good news for Khorne. We also have some Halberds back here starting to push in. There are little pockets of isolation though. Bloodblades overcharge on the left-hand side, and the O Kingdom player is really capitalizing on these kind of deep pushes, and you want to push forward and overwhelm your opponent where possible, but not to the point where you get isolated and picked apart. It is certainly allowing the Ogres back in the game. Balance power is actually now in their favor. There is one, oh no, what? Oh my god, where is the second Minotaur? They're behind each other. I thought there was one Minotaur counted for two there, but two Minotaurs were on the way back to jump the lead belchers, but alas, they're not going to be able to push back there. It looked like we were about to get the summon, but for some reason it was cancelled. Maybe he was knocked over here. He needs that summon to go down fast to shut down the lead belchers, because they are reaping bloody havoc on the infantry right now. And the Minotaurs have been dealt with, continue to pop shots. I don't think the Khorne player realised that his summon didn't go down here. And now, despite Greasus getting a little bit beat up and worse for wear, the shots coming from these lead belchers are devastating. Up to 130 kills so far. Point-blank range shooting into the enemy. That summon could have made all the difference, but instead it is the Khorne forces getting pounded into oblivion, and they are starting to break through those still, despite their losses. Iron Guts and Ogre Bulls do fall back. Likewise, Greasus Goldtooth decides to retreat to a safer distance. I think we're about to see a Bone Crusher come down. We are indeed, and kaboom, doing some okay damage, nothing too crazy. Cultist is trying his best to get to grips with the lead belchers, but once again, Noblar's being moved in to support them and hopefully allow them to survive one more time. So it seems like a Butcher of Great Moor is hiding in the trees. Chaos Warriors are retreating. Minotaurs are coming back, but Saber-Tusks looking to, they smell blood and looking to surround the beasties and drag them down in their injured and weakened state. They're going to blood-fused rampage, should be enough to take down these Minotaurs. So the Minotaurs do retreat, and it looks like the Saber-Tusk pack are going to continue to hunt them down in a rampage. But yeah, the forces of Khorne, they look so juicy. It's all starting to fall apart here. Halberdiers being bogged down by Noblars. That's going to allow Ogre Bulls to rally, and Iron Guts charging in and overwhelming the beleaguered Halberd unit. And the lead belchers are continuing to fire. Cultist is trying his best up against the Greasy Boy, but Greased Goldtooth with the Scepter of Titans on him should be able to crush that little manlin's skull. And the lead belchers are laughed from the high ground, shooting shots in, and watching the Khorne forces break before them. Up to 171 kills. It really is brutal stuff. And the tale shall be told in history that this was one of the greatest unit of lead belchers of all time. Very impressive work by them in general here. 2,157 gold value, 171 kills. By far and away the MVP in my opinion. If we look across the board, yeah, the damage value, no one coming close to the might of the lead belchers. I really like the Double Minotaurs, 1.2k and 1.1k value. They got some decent work done, but they still need support taking down the back line. Otherwise, that's how it goes, and you slowly get picked to pieces. Really lovely play there by Papa Palpatine. Well, like almost quite a heavy comeback. I feel like Khorne were really dominant in the early stages. They then overextended in a few instances, one with their Lord, one with the Bloodletters. They got taken to pieces, and they couldn't quite shut down the mighty Lead Belchers. That summon not going down was also pretty crucial, but I certainly would have liked to see it way, way, way earlier in the game once the front lines engage, just to force back the Lead Belchers even if they couldn't kill them, and assist the Flesh Hounds and really shutting down that back line. But well played to the Khorne player as well. Palpatine is a very talented tournament foe, so certainly no mean feat to run him this close. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. It was a good fun one to cast, and if you did enjoy, make sure to leave a big fat juicy thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I believe we're just 100 subscribers off getting to the 10,000 mark, which is pretty wild stuff. So yeah, we're going to be pushing on for that as soon as possible. Feel free to comment down below what you thought of the battle. Hope you guys enjoyed in general, and there are a load of links down below as well in the description to Twitch, Patreon, and Discord, where you can just vibe out a load of cool people in Discord and get involved in live streams and events and all that juicy stuff. Until next time, guys, peace, peace, and as always, stay awesome.